श्रीनिवासेति श्रेष्ठतया पात्रं गुणान्वितः कौशिकोऽनन्तरङ्गार्यश्चिरं विजेतां भुवि न्यस्तात्मीयभरं वरप्रदगुरो वैराग्यभाग्यो रसौ वेदान्तामृतसारवन्तमनघात् श्रीश्रीनिवासाद्गुरोः श्रीशैलान्वयकौस्तुभस्य तनयं श्रयोनिधे श्रीनिधेः वन्दे साधुकटाक्षकेणिलयं श्रीकृष्णसत्तेशिकम् श्रीनारायणयोगीन्द्रवरदारिकृपाश्रयं रङ्गेशपादविनतं श्रीनिवासमुनिं भजे व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् सुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Offering my pranamams to all the Bhagavatas in this satsanga, I shall start the next class, class 10 today. In the previous class, we had just seen the second adhyaya we had started, and 3 shlokas. We had done the anusandhana of 3 shlokas. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurnakule kshanam vishidantamidam vakyam vachamadusudanaha. So Krishna is telling in an objectionable tone to Arjuna, Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anaryajushtam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna klaibyam aspagam partha etat naitattvai upapadyate ksudram hriday daurbalyam tyaktva tishta parantapa. So Bhashyakara says, Krishna is telling him, avidvat sevitam vishamastham ivam vishamastham shokam avidvat sevitam paraloka virodhinam akirtikaram atikshudram hriday daurbalyam parityajya yuddhaya uttishtha iti bhagavan uvacha. So that part we had seen. And Arjuna continues to give the reasons why he has such feeling. So in the next shloka, we shall take up shlokas 4 and 5. Together have the Bhashika, there is a Bhashya for that. Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhye Dronam Jamadusudana Ishubhik Pratiyotsyami Pujarka Varisudana Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan Shreyo Bhoktum Bhaikshamapiha Loke Atvarthakamamstu Guru Nihaiva Bunjiya Bhogan Rudira Pradigdhan. So Arjuna is telling him further, Katham Bhishmam Maham Sankhye Dronancha Madhusudana. Sankhye means in the war, in this war. Katham Maham Bhishmam Dronancha Ishubhihi Pratiyotsyami. How can I fight with Drona and Bhishma and all these people in this war? Oh Madhusudana, killer of Madhu. They are Pujarhau Arisudana. They are people who need to be worshipped, who need to be respected, worshipped. So how can I even think of fighting Bhishma and Drona in this war? Guru Nahatvahi Mahanubhavan. They are Mahanubhavas. They deserve a lot of respect. And Shreyo Bhoktum Bhaikshamapi Haloke. If I even do Bhikshacharya, begging, that is much better. And by not killing the Acharyas, the Gurus, Guru Nahatvahi, not killing them, Shreyaha Bhoktum Bhaikshamapi Haloke. That is much better, even doing begging and living a life where I do Bhikshacharya. Hatvartha Kamamstu Guru Nihaiva. By killing the people, all these Acharyas and all these people who are there, who are Hatva Artha Kaman, they are actually desiring, they are highly interested in all these enjoyments, in these gains. And how can I how can I kill them? Gurun, okay. Hatva arthakamamstu gurunihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdana. How can I even think of enjoying all these things, bhogas, which are mixed or tainted with their blood? Rudira pradigdana, tainted with their blood. So he is further telling Arjuna, how can I think of even killing all these acharyas who are most respectable, and I need to actually worship them. So for this, the Bhashya, Punarapi Parthaha Sneha Karunya Dharma Dharma Bhayakulo Bhagavaduktam Hitatamam Ajanan Idamuvacha Bhishma Dronadikan Gurun Bahumantavyan Kathamaham Hanishyami Kathantaram Bhogeshu Atimatra Saktan Tan Hatva Taihi Bhujyamanan Taneva Bhogan Tadrudhirena Upasitya Teshu Asaneshu Upavishya Bhunjiya. So Bhashikara is summarizing what is Arjuna's feeling when he is replying to Krishna. Punarapi Parthaha, he is further continuing in the same state of shoka because of Sneha Karunya Dharma Dharma Bhaya Akulaha. Same Bandhu Sneha, Karunya, and having an idea of adharma in Kshatriya Dharma, that is war. And Akulaha, because of that his mind is completely moved and he is filled with shoka. Bhagavaduktam hitatamam ajanan. Sakshat Paramapurusha is telling hitatama, it is the utmost good for him. He is not knowing that ajanan, he is telling idam vacha. Bhishma Dronadikan Gurun, Bhishma, Drona and all these people who are acharyas, Bahumantavyan. So Mahanubhavan, which Arjuna says, Bhashikara says, Bahumantavyan. They are to be Bahumana, looked at with a lot of respect. Kathamaham Hanishyami. How can I think of killing them? How can I kill them? Katantharam Bhogeshu Atimatra Saktan Tan Hatva. Katham and Katantharam. That means this is much more, this is worse than killing them. That is Bhogeshu Atimatra Saktan Tan Hatva. Those who are extremely interested in enjoying all these pleasures, all these bhogas, they're killing them. Taihi bhujyamanan taneva bhogan. So whatever they are enjoying, the same, all those things, all those bhogas, tadrudhirena upasitya, mixing or tainted, which is going to be tainted with their own blood, and I am going to sit in their own place. Teshu asaneshu upavishya bhunji. How can I even think of enjoying all those bhogas? So, Punarapi Parthaha Sneha Karunya Dharma Dharma Bhayakulaha. Bhashikara says in Gita Sangraha, Sneha Karunya Dharma Dharma Dhiya Akulaha is there. Here Bhashikara says Bhaya, Dharma Dharma Bhaya Akulaha. So he is getting scared, he's got a fear. Now Arjuna replies also in an objectionable tone. Katham, he is also what Krishna said, Kutasva Kashmalamidam. Now he is telling, how can I katamaham bhishmam sankhya dronancha madhusudana. So he is also telling in an objectionable tone to Krishna's akshepa, and as he does not understand the fact that yuddha that Krishna is asking him to do would lead him to Paramanishre. So he is hitatama, he is not understanding that. So he had that ajnana due to asthana sneha, which is again indicated here as punarapi in this bhashya. That is again asthana sneha. Sneha here is bandhu sneha. And Bhishma Drona Adikanta. Adi here is that chakara which is there in Arjuna's Dronam cha. That is Anukta Samuchayartha. That means including everybody else. And Gurun Bahumantavyan. Their Pujarhau is Bahumantavyan. They are one is Bhishma is Pitamaha. Drona is Dhanurvedacharya. So they are all gurus and they are Bahumantavya. Atyanta Bahumantavyaha. Kathamaham Hanishyami. So they deserve to be worshipped with flowers, etc. And not doing so itself is a wrong thing. It's a sahasa. Not worshipping them and killing them would be atisahasa. So it will be still worse. I cannot do that. So aham ishubhihi pratiyotsyami. There aham indicates famous dynasty, etc. How can I, I am supposed to fight against my acharya's enemies, and you are asking me to fight the acharyas themselves. So, and how can I even kill them? That is a bhava in Hanishyami. Madhusudana, and also all these words which are used are highly context sensitive and significant in the context. When Arjuna says Madhusudana and Arisudana, Drodhancha Madhusudana, Pratiyotsyami, Pujarho Arisudana. So as though he is telling Krishna, you are telling me to kill my acharyas, and he is addressing him as Madhusudana. Madhu, one who killed Madhu and Kaitaba. And Madhu Kaitaba also stand for Rajas and Tamas. So you killed your enemies, Madhu and Kaitaba, and Arisudana. Ari is enemy. So you are killing enemies. So he is addressing him that you are famous for killing your enemies only, and you are not for you never fought against your acharyas, Sandipini, etc., whom you had lot of respect, and you are as though you are asking me to fight against my acharyas and kill them. So that is one meaning where Madhusudana and Arisudana. Another thing Madhusudana is indicates here is Madhu and Kaitaba are like Rajas and Tamas. So Rajas Tamo Mula Shoka Nibarhana is what Krishna is doing it here. Rajas and Tamas, the Shoka which has come because of Rajas and Tamas, and that he is trying to Krishna, who has conquered Rajas and Tamas, who is always rooted in Sattva, he is going to remove the Rajas and Tamas, which are the causes of Shoka in Arjuna. So that is also indicated in Madhusudana. And he says, Bhashyakara says, Katantaram Bhogeshu Atimatra Saktantan Hatva. Katantaram means Hatvartha Kamanstu Guru Nihaiva, the Mula Shloka. The Tu Shabda, Hatva Artha Kaman Tu Gurun. That Tu Shabda shows that this is much more cruel compared to what was told in the previous with Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhe. So this is Kathantaram, Bhashyakara says. Bhogeshu Atimatra Saktan Tan Hatva. Bhogeshu Atimatra Saktan. So in the Mula Shloka he says Arthakaman. So Arthakaman means Artham Kamayante, or Artheshu Kamaha Yesham Te Arthakamaha. So they had been, if somebody had been Nishkamas, stealing their bhoga would be tolerated. If they are not anyway interested in enjoying, stealing their bhoga would not have been such a big crime. But this is like Deshika says in the Vyakhyana, it's like stealing food from someone who is extremely hungry. So these people are highly interested in enjoying, and you are asking me to kill them and enjoy their own bhogas, sitting in their own place and mixed with their own blood. So taihi bhujyamanan taneva bhogan rudhira tadrudhirena upasitya bhunjiya. It's more cruel than killing is meant here. So the pleasures got by killing gurus would bring to memory their being soaked in blood, etc. And because of that it becomes dushita, tainted with their blood. So teshu asaneshu upavishya bhunjiya. So upasitya, upasechana is here upasitya. Upasechana means that which is used for helping, which helps in eating something else. Swayam madhyamanam sate anyasya adana hetu. What we call uppinkai in Kannada or urga. It is upasechana, something like that. So it is mixed with that, and mixed with their own blood. I cannot enjoy like that. Sitting in their own places. Rudhira pradigdhan is mixed with blood. It becomes viparita. So Arjuna is not only that, he is going to the extent of telling Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyam api haloke. So he is not able to understand Krishna's hitatama upadesha, that waging war is kshatriya dharma. So he wants to leave the kshatriya dharma and he wants to take a brahmana dharma, which is bhikshacharya. Bhikshacharya is not kshatriya dharma, it is brahmana dharma. So he says it's better to take brahmana dharma. So that was the extent of his shoka. He was moha. He was not able to understand what Krishna was teaching him. So he says it is better to take a bhikshacharya, which is brahmana dharma, waging this war, which is kshatriya dharma. So he goes to that extent. Then further Arjuna tells, Nachaitad vidmaha kataranno gariyaha yadva jayema yadiva no jayehu yaneva hatva na jijivashamaha teva sthitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. So he says, Nachaitad vidmaha, after all, even doing all this fighting, and we don't even know in a war, winning or losing is anishchita. We don't even know who is going to win, who is going to lose. Nachaitad vidmaha katarat naha gariyaha. Who is better, who is the better side? We don't know. Whether Edva Jayema, whether we will win or Naha Jayayu, or they win over us, we don't know. Yaneva Hatva na Jijivishamaha. After killing those people whom we don't want to even want to live them, te avastitaha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Sons of Dhritarashtra who are all here, killing them, we would not even want to live after killing them. So all these reasons Arjuna is telling, and at the end he says, Karpanya dosho vahata svabhavaha prichhamitva dharma sammoda chetaha yachreyasyan nishchitam brohitam me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Ultimately, Arjuna does Sharanagati at the feet of Krishna and says, Karpanya dosha. Karpanya here, it is an anga to prapatti actually, Karpanya. So it is akinchanya. Kinchana upayaha navidyate. He is not aware of any means. So that is the defect, Karpanya dosha. The defect of the nature of not being aware of any means. I am now caught by that dosha, that is upahata svabhavaha. I have been afflicted by the defect of the nature of not being aware of any means. Karpanya dosha upahata svabhavaha. Svabhava, he is dhairya here, so he has lost all his courage because of that dosha. And prichhami tva, now I am asking you, dharma sammudha chetaha. My mind is subjected to moha with respect to dharma and adharma. What is dharma? I am not able to know. Yat shreyaha syat nishchitam bruhitam me. Yat nishchitam shreyaha syat tat me bruhi. Whatever is definitely of utmost shreyas to me, utmost good to me, please do tell me that. I am your shishya, I am your disciple, I have come as a disciple. Shishyaha te aham shadhi, instruct me. Tvam prapannam, I have surrendered to you. Please do instruct me what is of utmost good to me. So he does Sharanagati with Karpanya at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. The Bhashya for this, Evam yuddham arabhya nivritta vyaparan bhavato dhartarashtraha prasakhya hanyuhu iti chet astu tallabdha vijayat adharmyat asmakam dharma dharmo ajanadbhi taihi hananameva gariyaha iti me pratibhati iti uktva yanmahyam shreyaha iti nishchitam tat sharanagataaya tava shishyaya me bruhi iti atimatra kripano bhagavat padau upasasada. This is the Bhashya. Evam yuddham arabhya nivritta vyaparan bhavato dhartarashtraha prasakhya hanyuhu iti chet. So if you tell me that now that if by having started the war, have a yuddham arabhya nivritta vyaparan, we are withdrawing, we are turning back, and looking at you people, all the Dhritarashtra sons are going to, by force, they are going to kill you, if you say so. Bhavataha dhartarashtraha prasakhya hanyuhu iti chet. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, if you tell me that having started the war, if we turn back, the Dhritarashtra sons are going to be, by force, they are going to come after us and kill us. Astu, let it be, let it happen, doesn't matter. Tallabdha vijayad adharmyat asmakam dharma dharmo ajanadbhi taihi hananameva gariyaha. So if we kill them and then even win the war, that is adharma for us. Whereas if they kill us, they do not know what is dharma and what is adharma. Dharma dharmo ajanadbhi taihi. So if they kill us also, it is, I think that is better than we knowing that we are doing adharma if we go and kill them. Instead of that, their killing is better. If they kill us, that itself is better. Itime pratibhati. Like this, I think. Iti uktva, telling like that. Arjuna finally says, Yanmahyam shreyaha iti nishchitam. Whatever is utmost good to me is definitely know that Sharanagataya tava shishyaya. I who have surrendered to you as a disciple, me bruhi the atimatra kripanaha bhagavat padau upasasada. So he falls at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So evam yuddham arabhya nivritta vyaparan bhavato dhartarashtra. The doubt Arjuna is expressing is nachaitad vidmaha, is indicated as evam. Evam is the word which indicates nachaitad vidmaha kataranno gariyaha. That is indicated by the Bhashya word evam. Bhavataha, Arjuna's fear that his relatives will get killed will only lead to destruction of his own dear brothers, Dharmaraja, Bhima, Nakula and others. So this is indicated by Bhavataha. That is, he is including all in plural. Bhavataha Dhartarashtraha Hanyuhu. Not only him, but his destruction of his brothers and everybody is indicated by Bhavataha. Even then he says Astu, does not matter, he says. Tallabdha vijayat adharmyat asmakam dharma dharmo vajanadbhi taihi hananam eva gariyaha iti me pratibhati. Here also he uses the plurals asmakam, vidmaha, all these things to show that all the Pandavas are disciples to Bhishma, Drona, etc. They are gurus to everybody, all the Pandavas. And we do not want to live killing them. And if they who do not know dharma and who do not have the dharma viveka, they do not know what is dharma and adharma, if they kill us, it is better. Here, the word pratibhati also shows that he is not really sure whether Dhritarashtra can kill the Pandavas, but he says, I think like that. Pratibhati is what he is telling. And et mahyam shreyaha iti nishchitam tat sharanagataya tava shishyaya me bruhi iti. Here, this is a very unique interpretation in rAmAnuja Bhashya. Most of the other commentators here are telling that the Nishchitam is given as a qualifying bruhi, Nishchitam bruhi, and Shreyasya Nishchitam bruhi me, bruhitan me, Nishchitam bruhi. So definitely tell me, so that would mean if Nishchitam is going to qualify the word bruhi, then it would mean as though Krishna, sometimes Krishna is Paramapurusha, sometimes he may tell Nishchita, sometimes he may tell Anishchita. It may lead to that kind of a meaning. So that is valid for anybody else, but not Sarveshwareshwara, Paramapurusha, Sarvajna. What he says is always Nishchitam only. So Bhashyakarar has added Nishchitam as qualifying Shreyaha, Nishchitam Shreyaha, Shreyaha iti Nishchitam. So this is a very unique interpretation in our Bhashya, which gives a lot of meaning and significance for Adhyatma Shastra Avatarana. So Nishchitam Shreyaha is very significant. That is something very important that we need to understand. That is very unique in rAmAnuja Bhashya. So here the Guna Sampatti of a Shishya Guna Sampatti is also known because he is Upadesha Yogya. That is what it says, Yat Mahyam Shreyaha iti Nishchitam. So he says, Yat Mahyam Shreyaha iti Nishchitam. The disciple is requesting Acharya, Yat Mahyam Shreyaha iti Nishchitam. And Shishya is Shasaniya. So he says, Shadhimam, Shishyasteham. Shasaniyo hi Shishyaha. So Shishyaya me bruhi. He says, Shishyasteham Shadhimam. So Arjuna had all the Gunasampati of a Shishya who deserved to be taught the utmost Tattvajnana, Shastrajnana. So Atimatra Kripanaha, Upahata Swabhava. What is told in Mula as Upahata Swabhavaha is telling Atimatra Kripanaha in the Bhashya. Swabhava here means dhairya. So Upahata Swabhavaha, that means I have lost all my dhairya of not knowing what is the right thing to do. So Arjuna says, all the courage is gone because I am not aware of any means by which I can get rid of my grief. It is a state which generates, it is also, Atimatra Kripana also, the meaning is it generates pity in others. Daya Janaka Dina Vritti Niratatvam. The Karpanya is an Anga to Sharanagati, Akinchanya or Ananya Gatitva. I do not know what other means I have. So, and he also did not know what is Tyajya and what is Upadeya, what is to be taken, accepted, what is to be rejected. He had no idea. So he says, Mahyam Shreyaha iti Nishchitam. Nishchitam Shreyaha is a very important term here. The Kathopanishad says there are two things, Shreyaha and Preyaha. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametaha. Tam Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. So considering deeply, Samparitya means thinking in detail, deeply. A dhira, that is a man who is knowledgeable, the jnani, dhiya ramanteti dhiraha. He knows the good and the pleasant. The shreyaha is good, preyaha is pleasant. Or we can also say the reality principle and the pleasure principle. So the good and the pleasant, shreyaha, preyaha. A wise man knows how to discriminate the Shreyas from Preyas. And Kathopanishad also says, Shreya Adadanasya sadhu bhavati. He ate arthat yavu preyo vranite. One who takes Shreyas, it is a proper thing, that is according to one's Swarupa, that is to be accepted, what is good. And one who goes after Preyas, the pleasure principle, what is pleasant, he ate arthat yavu preyo vranite. He keeps coming again and again into samsara. So that is so when Arjuna says here Shreyaha, that is what is meant, what is told in Kathopanishad and all these Upanishads. So he did not ask about Yuddha, but says what is definitely Shreyas to me. He did not say about Yuddha alone. So he says without any special qualification, he says Yat Mahyam Shreyaha iti nishchitam. That's what he says. Shreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me. So that is a one, the reality principle. And the Shruti also says, Rigveda says, Yad Bhadram Tanma Asuva. It is something like that. And Bhagavat Padau Upasasada Shishyasteham Shadimam Tuam Prapannam is summarized in the Bhashya as Bhagavat Padau Upasasada. So this is the prapatti that Arjuna is doing, Sharanagati. And this is exactly as per the Shastras, where the Mundaka Upanishad says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat tadvijnanartham sa gurumeva abhikached. So after seeing all the things which are transient, the fruits of all this Svarga and all those things, a Brahmana, one who has learned the Vedas and the Brahmachari a Brahmana has to get Nirvedamayat. That is, he has to get Dukkha. So Arjuna had got this Shoka, Nirveda. And that is a qualification for getting the next step, Tattvajnana. And he has to Vijnanartham saha gurumeva abhigachet. Eva, he says it is a vidhi that he has to go to an acharya and get the Tattvajnana. And the Eva is applied to all the avadharana. Tadvijnanartham eva gurum abhigachet. He has to go for knowing only Brahman to an acharya. And the Gurum Abhigacchedeva, he has to go to an Acharya and learn. So all these things are stressed here. So all these things has become fruitful here. As per the Shastra, what the Upanishads say, that Arjuna has properly approached Sri Krishna and he has done Sharanagati for asking him, what is Nishchitam Shreyaha Tanme Bruhi. Whatever is Shreyas is definitely going to do good to me. Please do instruct me. I am your Shishya. I am doing Sharanagati at your feet. So that's that Arjuna says here. Then the next, Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachokam uchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumau apasatnam vruddham rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam. So he says, Rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam avapya bhumau asapatnam vruddham nahi prapashyami mama chokam indriyanam chokam uchoshanam mama apanudyat na prapashyami. Whatever is going to drive away all my grief, shoka, apanudyat, drive away, that is, I am not able to see, nahi prapashyami, I cannot see any means by which my shoka can be dispelled. So, et shokam uchoshanam indriyanam, it is drying up all my senses, all my indriyas. And even after getting avapya bhumau, on this earth, if I get to enjoy all the Rajya Sukha, the kingdom, which is asapatnam, without any enemies, without any rivals, and riddham, always prosperous. So even if I get to enjoy all the kingdom in this world, which is rival-free, without any enemies, and always prosperous, or even supremacy over the gods, suranamapi achadhipatyam, even if I get supremacy over the gods, even that is, I don't see, with all those things are not going to drive away my shoka, my grief, which is so deep. And he keeps quiet. And so Sanjaya says, after that he concludes, Eva muktva hrishikesham gudakeshaha parantapaha nayotsyamiti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. Eva muktva hrishikesham gudakeshaha parantapaha. Gudakesha parantapa Arjuna. telling like this to Rishikesham, to Sri Krishna, Rishikesha, na yotsyami, I am not going to fight, iti govindam, uktva tushnim babhuvaha, telling that he kept quiet, he became silent. So the Bhashya for this, evam asthane samupasthita sneha karunyabhyam aprakritim gatam kshatriyanam yuddham paramadharmam api adharmam manvanam dharma bubhutsaya cha sharanagatam partham uddishya atma yathatmya jnanena yuddhasya phalabhisandhirahitasya atma prapti upayata jnanena cha vina asya moho na shamyati iti matva bhagavata paramapurushena adhyatma shastravatarnam kritam taduktam asthana sneha karunya dharma dharma dhiyakulam partham prapannam uddishya shastravatarnam kritam iti. So this is the part of the Bhashya. Evam asthane saupasthita sneha karunyabhyam. So where at the wrong place, on the wrong people, the wrong time, samupasthita sneha karunyabhyam, the sneha and karunya, because of that aprakritim gatam, that is he got into a state which was against his very nature. Kshatriyanam yuddham paramadharmam api. What is paramadharma, the war, waging the war for kshatriyas, that also he thought adharmam manvanam, he thought it is adharma. Dharma bhubutsaya, so bhubutsa is bodhum ichha, so he wanted to, with the desire to know what is dharma, sharanagatam partham, he did sharanagati at the feet of Krishna, and partham uddishya, so addressing Arjuna, atma yathatmya jnanena, so Krishna says atma yathatmya jnanena, the yathatmya jnana of the atma, that is the real nature of the atma, and yuddhasya phalabhisandhirahitasya atma prapti upayata jnanena cha. This is the second one. So the war that is waged without any desire in the fruits therein, phalabhisandhirahitasya, without any desire in the fruit, which is the yuddhasya atma prapti upayata jnanena cha. So that is the means to get the atma prapti, to know the nature, to realize the atman. And so with these two, without these, vina asya moho na shamyati, with the such jnana only his moha can go. Without that, his moha will not go. So that's what iti matva, thinking like that, knowing like that, bhagavata paramapurushena, paramapurusha Sri Krishna, Bhagavat, who is Bhagavanta, he adhyatma shastra avataranam kritam by him. This adhyatma shastra was started. And this is told by rAmAnuja in Gita Sangraha, which Bhagavad rAmAnuja quotes here. Taduktam, whatever was, that was told by rAmAnuja, asthana sneha karunya dharma dharma dhiya akulam partham prapannam uddishya shastravatarnam kutam. So Bhashyakara uses all these words, if you see as it is, asthana sneha karunya dharma dharma dhiya akulam partham prapannam uddishya. Partham uddishya is told directly here. Shastravatarnam kritam. So Bhashyakara says adhyatma shastravatarnam kritam. So here eva muktva Hrishikesham is also the words are very meaningful here. Again, Sanjaya, what he is concluding, eva muktva Hrishikesham gudakeshaha parantapaha. So he is giving special adjectives to Krishna and Arjuna. Hrishikesha is one who controls everybody's indriyas in all aspects. That is, Hrisyanti, Harshayanti itiva Hrishikani Indriyani. Hrishikas are Indriyas. And Hrishika Isha, that is, he is the Lord of Indriyas. It is as though he is motivating Arjuna's senses to be ready to grasp the Adhyatma Shastra that he is going to teach him. All the Sadarthas, the Jnana, the Tattva Jnana that he is going to teach him. So Hrishikesha is the word used here. So he is motivating Arjuna to be ready to grasp all the sadarthas, and by the fact of eliminating the grief of the senses. So in the shloka it says, Yachokam uchoshanam indriyanam. The indriya is directly indicated there. Yachokam uchoshanam indriyanam. That which dispels all the grief of the senses. So that is also shown by the word Hrishikesha. And for Arjuna it says Gudakesha. Gudaka means nidra. Nidra lasya gudaka syatiti. Gudaka nidra tasyaha ishaha. So he is the Lord of, he has won over nidra. So he is prabuddha swabhava. That means he is now ready to receive the Adhyatma Shastropadesha. And Govinda is also used here. Nayotsyami iti Govinda muktva. So he says, Govinda is the word indicates that Go is Vak or Go is Bhumi. Both are indicated here. One is, when you say Vak, Go means Vak, that is the speech, indicates that one who had the capability of speech to dispel his grief. So he could do that such high quality walk he had. So he could, by teaching him Adhyatma Shastra, he could dispel his grief. Or Go also indicates Bhumi, that is Bhubhara Avatarana Pravrittatva. So actually Krishna is going to do, is one of the other Avatara Prayojanas, that he is going to do Bhubhara Avatarana. So that is also indicated there. And Babhuvaha, Sanjaya says, the word Ha is very significant. Ascharya, he shows. So Sanjaya says, Babhutushnim Babhuvaha. He became silent. What a surprise. What Ascharya. So he expresses Ascharya to Dhritarashtra. And Arjuna had actually come to wage the war with a lot of motivation, vigor and all that. And Krishna brought him to this such a miserable state. And Sanjaya, as though he is telling, after all, who is Arjuna, to say Nayotsyami, and he is only Bharatantra, and he is only Nimittamatra, and that is why his Sankalpa was not effective. So they are all indicated in this Acharya, Tushnim Babhuvaha, which Sanjaya is telling. So this Evam Asthane Samupasthita Sneha Karunyabhyam, the shloka which summarizes the Upodghata is explained here. And the Shastra Avatarana Sangati is also being told here. Asthana Shabda indicates Vishame Samupasthitam is what we saw earlier, and it has Anvaya with Sneha and Karunya only. That is why it is mentioned as Asthane Samupasthita Sneha Karunyabhyam. Aprakritim Gataha, by nature, Partha is very bold and courageous. Swabhavataha Dhiratvam. And here he became Akula, because Dharma Dharmadhya Akulam, that is indicated by Aprakritim Gatam, that is against his very nature. Kshatriyanam Yuddham Paramadharmam api adharmam manvanam. The meaning of Dharma Dharmadhya is Dharma Dharmadhi. The samasa for that is Dharmepi Adharmadhihi. Dharma Dharmadhihi. Even in Dharma, having an idea of Adharma, is Dharma Dharmadhi. And it is like Shuktika Rajata Jnana, where the idea of having the idea of silver in conch, and so not able to differentiate, understand, get the knowledge of the Bheda, that is the difference between the two. So that is in our Shastra, Yathartha Khyati Paksha, Yathartha Khyati is there, where it is Bheda Agraha. So in other types of knowledge, perception, that is Abheda Graha is also there. That is, Abheda Graha means knowing that their identity, getting the knowledge of identity in two. Whereas here it is not getting the knowledge of duality. So the Shuktika and Rajata are different. Shuktika is different, Rajata is different. Getting the, when you see somebody sees a conch, he thinks it is silver and tries to pick it up. So, and after picking up, he knows that it is not silver, it is just a conch. So it is like that. So Dharma Dharma Dhiya Akula means he is not able to differentiate between Dharma and Adharma. That is Bheda Agraha. He is not able to understand the difference between the two. And this is Tamasa Buddhi. Dharma Dharma Bheda Agraha is Tamasa Buddhi. It is told in 18th chapter. Adharmam Dharmamatiya Manyate Tamasavrata. So when he thinks Dharma as Adharma is because of Tamas. He is told in the 18th chapter, 32nd shloka. So the Vigraha here is Asthana Sneha Karunyabhyam Jata Dharma Dharma Dihi. That is how the Vigraha to be done. And what he does is Dharma Bhubutsayacha Sharanagatam. So he says, knowing he was Bodhum Ichya Bhubutsa, he says Prachamitva Dharma Samudha Chetaha Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. That is summarized as Dharma Bhubutsayacha Sharanagatam. Sharanagati is to know what is Dharma. Sharanagati can be done for anything. And here the Sharanagati that is done by Arjuna is to know what is dharma and what is that he is supposed to do. And Shastra says that when one is having a doubt about dharma, he should approach a person who knows the dharma, dharmagya samaya pravana. So one who knows dharma, that person should be approached for. And Taittiriya Upanishad says, अथ यदिते कर्म विचिकित्सा वा वृत्त विचिकित्सा वा स्यात् एतत्र ब्राह्मणाः समर्षिणः युक्ता युक्ताः अलोक्षा धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तत्र वर्तेरन् तथा तत्र वर्तेथाः. So it says अथ यदिते कर्म विचिकित्सा वा वृत्त विचिकित्सा वा स्यात्. Whether what is to be done, karma is dharma, dharma vichikitsa, samshaya about karma, what is to be done, dharma, and vritta vichikitsa, acharane, how to do it. So if you have doubts, samshaya about any of these, you have to approach somebody who knows all these things, and they will tell, and as they do, we have to follow and things like that. So Partha, Arjuna has done exactly that. He has approached Krishna because he has got a samshaya in what is dharma and he is not able to know. So he is approached Krishna and does Sharanagati for dharma, knowing dharma, dharma bhugutsaya. And Partham Uddishya in Bhashya it says, that is Partha is Yogya for Shastropadesha. Uddeshya is Partha who is Yogya for Upadesha, Shastropadesha. It can also mean just a pretext, a Vyaja, Shastropadesha. So Shastravatarana, even a Vyaja is enough for doing Shastravatarana. Partham Prapannam Uddishya, as told in Gita Artha Sangraha. Atma Yathatmir Jnanena Yuddhasya Balavisandhirahitasya Atma Praptyupayata Jnanena Cha Vina Asya Moho Nashamyati. So the meaning of Akulam Partham Uddishya is told as told in Gita Artha Sangraha. Dharma Dharma Diyakulam Partham Prapannam Uddishya. That Akulam Partham Uddishya, that meaning is explained here like this by Bhashyakara. Here Atma Yathatmya is knowing the real nature of the Jivatma, the soul, which is Nityatva, Bhagavad Adhinatva and others. So he is always Paratantra, he is subservient to the Lord, to Bhagavan, and he is Nitya, he is eternal. All these things are the real nature of Atma, and that is the only means to get rid of Arjuna's shoka. When he says, Nahi prapashyami mama apanudyate, chokam uchoshanam indriyana. So the moha has to be got rid of. Only two things are needed. One is Atma Yathatma Jnana. Second one is knowing that engaging in this war without a desire for the fruit is the means for Atma Prapti. So it is Atma Prapti Upaya for doing the war without Phalabi Sandhirahita Yuddha is Atma Prapti Upaya. Upaya is means. So that is a means to realizing the self. That is what is Krishna is very clear, and he is telling Arjuna. So thinking, so Krishna starts Shastropadesha. Bhagavata Paramapurushena Adhyatma Shastravatarnam Kritam. So when Bhashyakara says Shastravatarnam Kritam, if we get a doubt, Kena Kritam, it makes it very clear. Bhashyakara, he says Bhagavata, he says it was not told by Vyasa. Vyasa only did Pravartane later on, but this was the Shastra was told directly by Bhagavata Paramapurushena. Bhashyakara says very clear, Shastra Avataranam Kritam. That means Kena Kritam, if you get a doubt, Bhagavata Paramapurushena Kritam. It's very clear about that. And Vyasa is doing Pravartana only in the Mahabharata when he said. So it is actually told by Bhagavan Sri Krishna is indicated here. And the two words Bhagavata and Paramapurushena, they indicate Ubhayalingatva of Shri Appati, that is Akhilaheya Pratyanikatva and Sakala Kalyana Gunakaratva. Bhagavan is one who has Shadgunya, Sarvajñatva, Sarvayiktitva, Shadgunya and all those things is Bhagavan. Paramapurusha. So he is only a person, so that is why the Shastra Pramanya is established again here. The validity of the Shastra based on the person who is teaching and untouched by defects and is abode of innumerable auspicious qualities. So only a person who is opposed, whose nature is opposed to all evils, he only is capable of removing others' grief. If the person who is teaching himself is under grief or is has the he can get into grief, such a person cannot remove others' grief. Whereas here, it's very clear that Bhagavata Paramapurushena, one who is totally, whose nature is opposed to anything that is evil, any defect. Akhilehe Pratyanika Subhava. So he is only highly capable of removing others' grief. And he is Paramapurusha, Sakala Kalyana Gunakara. So he is abode of all innumerable auspicious qualities. So these two words are significant. Bhashyakara uses Bhagavata Paramapurushena, Adhyatma, and he says Adhyatma Shastra Avataranam. In Gitartha Sangraha, Yamunacharya says Shastra Avataranam. Bhashyakara makes it very clear it is not any other Shastra, and it is very different from all other Shastras because it is Adhyatma Shastra. Atmanam Adhikritya Shastram. It is so. It is told na Vedantat Shastram na Madhumadanat Daivam Adhikam. Na Vedantat Shastram. Shastra means Vedanta. That is the ultimate Shastra. So Bhashyakara is stating very clearly here Adhyatma Shastra. That is, it is Atmanam Adhikritya Shastra. So the speciality, and also next he says Taduktam. What is already told by Yamunacharya. That is a very significant term, Taduktam. And quoting Yamunacharya by Bhagavad rAmAnuja, it is, you can see it in all our Purvacharyas. This is a very special characteristic of our Siddhanta, our Sampradaya, that this is Sampradayika. So Bhashyakara, what the Bhashya that Bhashyakara is giving to us is Sampradayika, and he is mentioning Yamunacharya's Taduktam. And it's very important aspect of our Darshana, always following our Purvacharyas, and that is what everybody has to. Bhashyakara is also teaching everybody else that always go with the Purvacharyas, and that you can see in all his other works also. In Sri Bhashya also, Bhashyakara says, Bhagavad Bodhayana Kritam Vistirnam Brahmasutra Vrittim Purvacharyaha Sanchikshipuhu Tanmatanusarena Sutraksharani Vyakhyasyante. So I am only doing as told by our Purvacharyas. And here Bhashyakara is also telling Taduktam, what is already told by Yamunacharya, I am also going to tell the same thing. So the Tattvarthas taught in each Adhyaya. So in here, the another significant thing that we have to understand here is the Tattvarthas are taught in every Adhyaya. He is taken as per Yamunacharya's Gitartha Sangraha. Bhashyakara gives a very clear Sangati for every Adhyaya based on Gitartha Sangraha. But if you see in this Adhyaya alone, the first shloka, Yamunacharya did not give a Sangraha shloka for the first Adhyaya, because first Adhyaya is more like a Katha Bhaga. And the second Adhyaya from the 12th shloka, from the 11th shloka, the actual Shastra starts. And actually the 12th, 11th is also like a connecting shloka, Sangati. And so that is, though Bhashya, the Yamunacharya, he says, Dvitiye Sthitadhi Laksha Prokta Tanmoha Shantaye. In the second chapter, what is told is summarized by Yamunacharya, Dvitiye Sthitadhi Laksha Prokta Tanmoha Shantaye. Here, the first 10 shlokas are actually included as part of the Upadghata itself. So, this is the first 10 shlokas are for removing the moha, the shoka of Partha. That is what is indicated also here. In the second Adhyaya alone, Shastra starts from the 11th shloka. 11th shloka is also like a Sangati. And the first 10 shlokas are Shastra Upodghata in the second Adhyaya. Though the first shloka does not mention this in Gitartha Sangraha, it is clear that it addresses the first chapter. And up to this point, up to first chapter and up to this point is the Upodghata. This is indicated by Asthana Sneha Karanya. The Mula shloka told by Vyasar at the beginning of the chapter is Tam Tatha Kripaya Vishtam, and that is indicated in Tan Moha Shantaye by Bhagavad Yamunacharya. He says Dvitiye Sthitadhi Laksha Prokta Tan Moha Shantaye, which is the first shloka of second Adhyaya, Tam Tatha Kripaya Vishtam. So that is what is summarized by the word Moha Shantaye. Tan Moha Shantaye is the word which gives the gist of the first 10 shlokas. That is explained in the Tatparya Chandrika, just for us to understand that how these are all the Sangata. And Deshika also analyzes why Krishna taught Arjuna all the karma yoga, jnana yoga, etc. He raises a purva paksha here. How can all this karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga can be taught to someone who did not ask for it specifically? So Shastra also says na prashtaha kasyachit bruyat in Manu Dharma Shastra. So in Manusmriti it says na prashtaha kasyachit bruyat. Especially Adhyatma Shastra should be taught in the order of Guhya, Guhyatara, Guhyatama. Step by step always. What we see in Upanishads, if you see in the Chandogya Upanishads, there is an instance where Indra and Virochana goes to Prajapati for getting Atma Jnana, Atmopadesha. And for every step, Prajapati asks Indra, stay for another 32 years doing Brahmacharya, then I will teach you. So for every step, he had to do stay for 32 years, following Brahmacharya and get the next level of knowledge. Again for another third. Like that he did many terms. So that is how Shastra has been taught. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, if you see, Bhrigu approaches his father Varuna. Bhrigurvaiva Runihi Varunam Pitaramupasada Bhagavo Brahmeti. He says, teach me Brahman, do Brahmopadesha Vami Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. So he says, Varuna doesn't give him directly. He says, Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva. You have to do tapas to know that. And step by step he says, Annam Brahmeti Vyajanate. Then he says, Prano Brahmeti Vyajanate, Mano Brahmeti. So Anna, Prana, Manomaya, then Vijnanamaya, and like that it goes step by step. It's a long process and tedious process. Whereas here we don't see all those things. So he says, directly he is teaching him everything, Krishna, all the karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, everything in totally. And also some of the Krishna's words like Tasmat Yudhyasva, Yudhyacha, they seem to indicate that Krishna is only encouraging Arjuna to engage in the war. So how is this Shastra Adhyatma Para? Is the Purva Paksha that Deshika raises. And that, the answer to that is basically in Bhashyakara's the Bhashya of giving Nishchitam Shreyaha. Arjuna requests Yatu Shreyaha Syat Nishchitam Bruhitam. So Nishchitam Shreyaha. So he does not specify any particular Vishesha for the word Shreyaha. So it is Anirdharita Vishesha. So it is that most good what is Nishchitam Shreyaha. That is very significant here, which is the basic reason why Adhyatma Shastra was started. And there is also nothing here to suggest that Arjuna was of the opinion that Yuddha was only Shreyas for him. So we cannot assume that Arjuna only waging the war was Shreyas for him. So it is well known that Arjuna was Parama Astika, and he knew that Krishna, the Parama Purusha, is very close to him, and he wanted to know the utmost Shreyas from him, asking none other than Bhagavan Sri Krishna, which is so dear to him. So it is also quite possible that Arjuna, who was Parama Astika, wanted to know only Adhyatma Shastra from Krishna directly. It's an opportunity, great opportunity for him. That is also possible. And even if Arjuna was thinking that Yuddha only was Shreyas, Krishna being Parama Karunika, Jagad Upakriti Martyaha. So that was, Bhashyakara has already told that earlier. Jagad Upakriti Martyaha. He is always interested in doing upakara to the entire world. So even Arjuna, if Arjuna was thinking that Yuddha was only a Shreyas, Krishna being Paramakarunika can teach him the utmost beneficial knowledge just based on his Samanya Vachana. That is also quite possible. So Krishna's words, Yudhyasva, Yudhyacha, all these things are also actually means to Paramanishtreyas, and it can be seen later. He explains very clearly how doing Karma Yoga one can get Atma Sakshatkara from Karma Yoga itself. So all that we can see later in detail. So it is Paramanishtreyas, it's a means to Paramanishtreyas. So all these things are justifying that Krishna starting Adhyatma Shastra Avatarana is fully justified, is what Deshika clearly establishes, that it is the Shastra, what Bhashyakara says, Adhyatma Shastra Avataranam Kritam, is fully justified. So going to the next shloka, shloka 10. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha prahasanniva bharata senayor bhayor madhye vishidantam idam vachaha. So he told Arjuna, Hrishikesha told Krishna Prahasanniva, as though smiling, he told Bharata. So this is Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, Tamuvacha Hrishikesha, Prahasanniva Bharata. Bharata is, Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra as Bharata, that is the descendant of Bharata. Senayor Bhayor Madhye. So in the middle of both the armies, Vishidantam, one who is lamenting, one is struck by grief like this, Idam Vachaha, these words. So the Bhashya for that, Evam Dehatmanoho Yathatma Jnana Nimitta Shokavishtam Dehatirikta Atma Jnana Nimittam Cha Dharmam Bhashamanam Paraspara Viruddha Gunanvitam Uphayoho Senayoho Yuddhaya Udyuktayoho Madhye Akasmat Nirudyogam Partham Alokya Paramapurushaha Prahasanniva Idam Vacha Parihasa Vakyam Vadanniva Atma Paramatma Yathatmya Tat Prapti Upaya Bhuta Karma Yoga Jnana Yoga Bhakti Yoga Gocharam Natvevaham Jatunasam Iti Arabhya Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshaishyami Mashuchaha Iti Etadantam Vachanam Uvacha Ityarthaha. So here Bhashyakarar is summarizing the Sangati for Shastravatarana. So if you see, there are three parts. The first Adhyaya is Arjuna's Shoka. The second Adhyaya, 10 shlokas, are the show for removing the Shoka of Arjuna. And then the Shastravatarana, that is the Sangati for Shastravatarana. And the Shastra starts from Natvevaham Jatunasam with, here Bhashyakarar says, that is the 12th shloka. So the next shloka, 11th shloka is also, 11th shloka is the Sakshat Sangati. Up to this is Upodghata for the Shastravatarana and Shastravatarana Sangati, then Shastravatarana. So we have to make it as Adhyaya 1, second Adhyaya 10 shlokas, second Adhyaya 11th shloka, second Adhyaya 12 shloka to 18th Adhyaya 66th shloka. So this is how it is divided. And second Adhyaya 10 shlokas are up to that is Moha Shantan, Moha Shantaye, what Yamunacharya has told, that is removing his grief. And the 11th Adhyaya is Sakshat Sangati for the Shastravatarana, 11th shloka. From 12th shloka onward, the actual Shastra starts. So here Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, Evam Dehatmanoho Yathatma Jnana Nimitta Shokavishtam. So this Deha Atma, the Yathatma Jnana of Deha and Atma, that is between the body, which is Achetana, and the Atma, the soul, and not knowing the real nature of Deha and Atma, and he got Shoka. He was filled with Shoka, Shokavishtam for him. Deha Atirikta Atma Jnana Nimittam Cha Dharmam Bhashamanam. That is, he is only speaking all the things as though he is speaking Dharma, and one who has the knowledge of Deha Atirikta Atma, an Atma who is different from Deha, from the body, and he has one who has the knowledge. Deha Atirikta Atma Jnana Nimittam Dharmam Bhashamanam. When he is talking everything as though he has the knowledge of the nature of Deha and Atma. And so because of that, one is that Yathatma Jnana Nimitta Shokavishtam. Deha and Atma's Yathatma Jnana he does not have. So he is filled with grief. But he is talking as though he has the knowledge of Deha and Atma are different. And so he is talking about Dharma. At the same time, he does not have the real understanding. So because of that, Paraspara Viruddha Gunanvitam, Uphayoho se Paraspara Viruddha Gunanvitam. So he is having totally opposite gunas, Bhashyakarar says. And such a Partha, as though he is talking Dharma, but he does not have the knowledge. So they are Viruddha Gunas. Ubhayoho Senayoho Yuddhaya Udyuktayoho Madhye. So both the armies which are actually starting to engage in the war, standing in the middle, Akasmat Nirudyogam. That means the word Akasmat is very significant here. That is for no reason. Akasmat Nirudyogam. For no proper reason, he is jobless. He has become Nirudyoga. Parthama Alokya. Looking at Partha, Paramapurushaha, Sri Krishna, Prahasanniva Idam Vacha, as if he is smiling, he is telling this. and parihasa vakyam vadanniva, as though he is telling making a casual remark, smiling, telling something on the lighter side. He is vadanniva, as though he is telling on the lighter side. And what did he say? Atma paramatma yatatmya prapti upaya bhuta. That is Atma Paramatma Yathatmya Prapti Upaya. That is Atma and Paramatma. That is Jivatma. That is the individual self. Paramatma is the super self. That is the Paramatma. And their Yathatmya, that is their real nature, Prapti. That is realizing the real nature of the Atma and the Paramatma. And the Upaya for that. That is a means. Upaya Bhuta, the means. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. That is, these are the means for knowing the real nature of Atma and Paramatma. And by these means, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gocharam, only knowing one who can be known only by these means. And such Paramatma, he teaches Natvevaham Jatuna, starting from the 12th shloka, Iti Arabhya. Aham tva sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha ityetadantam vachanam uvacha ityarthaha. So up to that, he taught him all the details of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, which are the means for knowing, and he is only known from that. Atma Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gocharam. Atma Paramatma Yathatmya Prapti Upaya Bhuta. So these are all the means for Atma and Paramatma Yathatmya Prapti. That is understanding, realizing the nature of Atma and Paramatma, and as though he is doing parihasa, he is in a casual tone or in smiling, as though he is smiling very lightly. So the meaning of this is explained in detail later on. So the special meanings of this Bhashya, the Vishesharthas, are many, and I think we shall take up the special meanings of the Bhashya part of it in the next class, and then start the Shastra from the 11th shloka also in the next class. I think we have come to the end of today's session, so I shall conclude today's session and leave the class open for any question and answers. Thank you very much. rAmAnuja Namaha. So if there are no questions, I shall conclude the class. Thank you very much. rAmAnuja Namaha.